Hello, this is Jeff Hamrick at the University of San Francisco's Master of Science in Financial Analysis program. I'm going to talk for a couple of minutes about summarizing data sets in Stata. So I've used the sysuse command here to call forth the named data set that's installed with Stata. That data set is called auto. It has information about a number of automobiles, including their price and their gas efficiency. This is in the year approximately 1978, so it's a little bit dated, but we can still use this data set as a pretty good example of what's involved with obtaining summary statistics for variables in particular data sets that we've imported into Stata. So the easiest way to generate a very broad summary of all of the variables that are in our data set is to simply use the summarize command. So what we see here is that we get a sequence of variables and basic statistics like the number of observations that are not missing for that particular variable, the mean value for that variable, standard deviation, and the min and max values of that particular variable, if of course the variable is quantitative. Okay, so if we go back and look at our data set, we see that, for example, this variable right here is not numeric, but because it has only two states and is shaded blue, Stata is happy to treat that as a dichotomous variable that takes values between 0 and 1. Okay, so if it's equal to foreign, it's equal to 1, otherwise it's equal to 0. For a variable that's not at all numeric, it's a string quantity, nothing is reported to us because it's not quantitative and therefore it can't be summarized for us. So you can restrict summarization to particular variables in the data set, like miles per gallon and price, by just listing the variables after the summarize command. You can also use, as is typically the case, conditioning statements in Stata to restrict the summarization to those cases that satisfy particular properties. So for example, if I say summarize two variables, miles per gallon and price, but I ask that you only include those cars in the summary such that they are foreign cars, by making the statement if foreign equals equals, and you have to use equals equals since it's a logical equals. If it's equal to 1, that is if it's a foreign car, then we'll get the summary statistics. So we see that only a subset of these cars are actually foreign cars, 22 of them, and so we get summary statistics for just those particular cars. Okay? You can also have multiple conditional statements. So if I say summarize miles per gallon and price, if both foreign is equal to 1 and you use 1 ampersand for a logical and, if miles per gallon is less than 30. Okay? So that's an even smaller subset of the cars, so you can have very complicated logical statements here if you'd like. Okay? You might want summary statistical information besides mean, standard deviation, min, and max. Like you might want skewness, kurtosis, variance, these types of things. If you'd like that information, then what you can do here is add the option detail after your main statement, making sure that you put a comma before you invoke the detail option. So if you do this, what we get is a lot more information. We get information about variance, skewness, and kurtosis, like I promised, and we also get information about the percentiles, or possible percentiles. Because in most data sets that take on only a discrete number of values, the percentile is not necessarily well defined. There's a range of possible values of percentile, and so Stata tells you that you could regard the 5th percentile of this data set as being any number between 14 and 17. And that's again because the values of miles per gallon only take on a discrete number of values in this data set. It's not a true continuous random variable. So this is how you get detailed statistical summaries using the summarize command in Stata. You can also, as per usual, use expressions like summarize in 1/10 to get summary statistics for just the cases in the first 10 rows of your data set. Okay? And you can also do summarization by groups. You have to sort by a group that you want to do summarization on. That's a typical requirement in most statistical programs like Stata and SAS. So for example, if I sort the data set by the foreign variable, let's check out what that data set looks like now. So now notice that the data set has been sorted with the domestic cars first and the foreign cars second. I can then use what's called a by command. So if I say by the variable foreign, which I've already sorted by, please summarize for me, what you can get is a group by group summarization. So a summary statistics for the domestic cars, and then summary statistics for the foreign cars. So when we look at that, what we get is first summary statistics for the domestic cars, and then, as I promised, summary statistics for the foreign cars as well. So the summarize command is a pretty versatile command in Stata. You can use it to get the information that you need to plug in statistics into formulas for statistical tests if Stata does not run those statistical tests for you. But of course, the main reason we want to use a function like summarize is because it helps us to kind of scope out our data set and to get a feeling as to whether or not the data set might be symmetric, whether or not there might be any outliers in the data set. Are we missing lots of variable values from any of the cases in the data set, and so on and so forth. So that's the summarize command in Stata. Let me know if you have any questions.